Well, good morning, and welcome to the A1. Welcome to the wet, damp, rainy A1. I hope the weather's a bit better where you are. So where are we going today? Well, let me tell you where we're going today. We're going to head to Hexham in Northumberland to see my brother, whose birthday it is this week. Come on, let's go. Just in case you haven't been to Hexham before, let me tell you a little bit about it. Hexham is in the county of Northumberland. It's the most northernmost county in England. It borders with Scotland. It's the least populated county in England, and the recorded history of Hexham starts in 674 AD. Wilfrid, the Bishop Wilfrid, founded Hexham Abbey. When I ride up to Hexham, which I must admit isn't as often as I would like to, I can either go one of two ways. I can either head up the west side of England, up the M6 to Carlisle and then hang a right, or I can travel up the east side of England and then hang a left. This is the east side of England. This is the A1. I find it a little bit more interesting really than the M6. There's not a great deal of difference in it time wise, but I just find it a little bit more interesting. When I eventually get off the motorway, I usually turn off onto the A68. This cuts the corner off, otherwise it would be a case of going up into Newcastle and then turning left along the A69 to Hexham. And it also gives me an earlier opportunity to pull into a lay-by and stretch my legs a little bit, because by this time, regardless of how comfortable your motorbike is, you're always pretty ready for a bit of a stretch. And a wave to the camera. The A68 also provides you with some lovely sweeping, well tarmacked surfaces, some nice views, some sweeping bends. It's a delight to ride, it really is nice. You also get a chance to ride through some nice little towns. This is Howell with its lovely war memorial there. When we eventually get to Hexham, we find the sun shining and they've got the flags out for us. Isn't that nice of them? Really, it is nice of them, putting the bunting out for our arrival, eh? So it's time now to find the hotel. That's the hotel there on the left, the Grommand Hotel. If we just ride around this corner and then we ride across the footpath, it's alright, it's a dropped curb, we're allowed to do that. We pull into the little car park, we put the even mightier V-Strom to bed, and we carry on with the traditions. Well, good morning and welcome to Hexham in Northumberland. Behind me, hopefully, you can see Hexham Abbey. Hexham Abbey was founded in 674 AD by Wilfrid, Bishop Wilfrid, who then became Saint Wilfrid. The abbey, you can see at the moment, it's 11th century, really, 11th, 12th century, medieval. So apart from being an abbey town, an Anglo-Saxon abbey town, it's also my hometown. So I rode up here yesterday on the even mightier V-Strom. I picked it up the day before yesterday from the dealership. Got it home, rode home in the rain, got it home, fitted the sat-nav, packed my luggage. Yesterday I put the luggage on the bike and rode up the A1 in the rain. And I got here last night yesterday evening in glorious sunshine. See, the sun always shines on the righteous, man. So yeah, so this is my first day in Hexham, and I thought I would do a little bit of filming around the area, just to let you know what it's like and what's going on here. So looking forward to it. This is the Northumberland Fusiliers Memorial Gateway, late 17th century or early 18th century construction. Originally it was next door to the White Hart pub in 4th Street in Hexham. It was dismantled and moved to its current location in 1919 as an act of remembrance for the First World War. It's been here as long as I can remember. Every Armistice Day, every Remembrance Sunday, we came down here and lit our poppies at the cenotaph behind us. History, man, history. So when Wilfrid built this, the abbey in the 7th century, 500 years later it was rebuilt or added to as a priory church, and these are the cloisters from the church you can see behind me. This covered area behind me is known as the Shambles. It's in the marketplace in Hexham. It's a covered market. It was erected in 1766 by Sir Walter Blackett. Still in use today, still used as part of the market. Behind me in the marketplace, this is what's known as the pant. This one was built in 1901, replacing the original 1703 pant. It used to be a source of drinking water. This is the moot hall, built in the late 14th century. You can see the archways there. That's where the portcullis used to be. There was two of them. I don't remember this. Trust me, I don't remember. But yeah, there was two portcullis. This is the old jail. If memory serves me correct, which it probably doesn't, this is the first purpose-built jail in England. Built in 1330 by the bishop, the then Bishop of York, whose name escapes me. A lot of this is built from dressed Roman stone. This is known to me as the old grammar school. It's actually known as the old Queen Elizabeth Grammar School. Free school started here in 1599 in some private houses, and then this one was purpose built. This building was purpose built as a school in 1684. I don't know how long it would run as a school, but like I say, we all know it as the old grammar school. You'll not find this in any history books, but this is back at the old gas board showroom. I know that because this is where we used to park the gas vans when I used to work here. I say work, I used to turn up in the papers at the end of the week. Happy days. Behind me you can see number 20 and 22 Market Street, Hexham. These are late 1700. A lot of history in Hexham, right the way through from the Anglo-Saxon Abbey, right the way through to 17th, 18th century. The leather trade, Victorian stuff going on here. This is known as St. Wilfrid's Gateway. It was one of the entrances, one of the gateways into the original abbey. It was built by St. Wilfrid in 674. But then the Vikings popped over in the 800s and erected a bit. This is called Hexham House. It was built in 1723 and it was council offices for years and years and years. I guess in 1723 it wasn't a council office. I'm guessing it was a private house of some description. 1723. There's some rich people around here in the wool and the leather trade. This is a bridge over the Holgate Burn in Hexham, in the grounds of Hexham House. It's 13th century originally. The castellations and all the fancy bits were done in the 19th century. It's impressive. It makes a part of a lovely little walk around the park and the Bowling Green and around the Abbey in Hexham. And if you want to come to Hexham, I would. It's nice. Then perhaps I'm a little bit biased there. This is St Mary's Church in Hexham. It looks old, doesn't it? It looks medieval. It's not. It was built in 1830. It was just built in the Gothic style. This is Bensons Monument on the junction of Hencoats and Bowman Street in Hexham. But Bensons Monument was erected in 1910 in memory of a Boer War hero. In memory of a Boer War hero, George Elliot Benson. The Ironway is number 17 and 17A, St Mary's Chair in Hexham, otherwise known as what used to be the Fandango Club. That's not why it's in the history books. It's in the history books because it's a 17th century building with some impressive stone carving, some moulding. But it should be in the history books because it used to be the Fandango Club, where your humble narrator and a lot of his mates used to play live back in the good old days. Not in the 17th century, but a little bit after that. Here we are, pretty much back where we started from. So that was a little guided tour, a little delve down, a little wander down memory lane for me. I hope you enjoyed it. A little bit of a wander around the middle of Hexham. Look at some history, some ancient medieval history, some not so ancient Georgian and Victorian history as well, and all points in between. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's good to be back. And all too soon our visit to Hexham came to an end. I hope you enjoyed the trip to Hexham. We didn't look at everything that we possibly could have done. I totally missed the Hexham riot of 1761, which is quite famous in Hexham history, but I hope you enjoyed it anyway. On our journey southbound, we use the A68 once again and drive right through these beautiful bends, beautiful countryside, until eventually we end up back on the motorway. Now, don't get me wrong, motorways have their uses. They'll get you from A to B quite quickly, but you know, they are pretty boring, aren't they? Eventually we found ourselves back in Warwickshire and then eventually Worcestershire. I hope you enjoyed our little trip up north, up to Hexham. I hope you enjoyed the history that we did up there. If you did, could you give us a thumbs up on the YouTube channel and subscribe if you would be so kind. Take care, ladies and gents, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye. Bye now.